Warm welcome back to Anaheim and the Anaheim Convention Center and Arena. We're here live for ECS Season 2 finals with Lurpis and Fifth Lauren alongside. We're going to head into Group B. We're going to show that in just a moment. Just a reflection, first of all, on Group A and how it's wrapped up for you.
I mean, Australia's very, very dominant. I feel like they've been playing well. They're playing well in E-League as well. Had a little bit of flunder there in the final versus Optic. Optic so far, they only played one game so far, but just coming off of a win, you know, and I've been playing extremely poor. Same with Cloud9. Haven't really come up to speed after the ESL Pro League final win. And then FaZe, good first map, coming in here versus Australis, and it's just, they dropped the bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 rounds, it's not good enough.
No, absolutely. It just sort of proves, Tommy, as we head into Group B, when it's best of one like this and there's a place in the semi-finals up for grabs, you've got to come in and hit the ground running.
No, for sure. I mean, there's just very little time to get up to speed if you're not there, and that's also why it hurts teams to not be able to practice more. Obviously now it's actually good that events have practice rooms, such as this one. Yep. So teams are actually able to put in practice the previous days.
Yeah, I saw them in here
go there today.
8 o'clock in the morning, they were
exactly.
here.
I mean, that's actually a great improvement for the players, especially now that they have to travel so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move into Group B and show you the bracket. The 4 teams in Group B are very, very interesting indeed, not least of which 2 of them who are here with replacement players. SK, of course, having to replace FNX with Fox, and Dignitas here playing Lost Magic's boy, of course, to education, apparently, or something important, I've heard. But unfortunately, he can't make it, so they have had to bring in a replacement as well. Immortals also in this group. They will go head-to-head with Envy. I guess, Tommy, when you look at those 4, a year ago, you'd have gone, wow, that's an easy group for Envy. A year on, you look at that and go, wow, that's a tough group for Envy.
Yeah,
what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, no, I think we have to go back 13 months, because I think a year ago is when SK or then Luminosity wiped the map with Envy and NIP, and then basically everybody else right after starting a DreamHack winner. But yeah, I mean, what a difference. Yeah. And Envy's fall really has been quite magnificent, if you think about it.
But magnificent only if you don't like them, Tommy. I mean, you're allowed to say that, we can't.
Well, I mean,
Tommy used to be a fan.
I like Envy. I have nothing against Envy.
I mean, it's like saying Tommy used to be a fan of yours.
Oh. Yeah. After I retired, he was a massive fan of me. It's great. It's great.
All right, separated boys. Like, come on.
We already settled this. It's a grudge match, Fight Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Good. Yeah,
that's why it takes so long to put on makeup after some of the breaks.
Yeah, you don't
still go at it.
All right. In terms of the 4 teams, then, I mean, when you've looked at it, SK coming with a replacement, Dignitas coming with a replacement. Immortals have got to be looking at this group going, come on, guys, we've got this.
Yeah, and that's why I put together an actual article writing why I think Immortals actually has a case to even win the whole tournament, given this group. I mean, they just caught so many lucky breaks, and they've actually been very good with this new lineup ever since they replaced Zeus. The one thing, the one problem with them that was brought to my attention by some of their fans on Twitter is their players basically said after E-League that they're actually more focused on the major qualifier, and that to me was the one thing that sort of made me lose hope in them actually winning. Like, yeah, maybe they'll go out of the group, but if mentally they're thinking about next week more so as the #1 priority, I think that has to affect performance, and that's I think the issue that I saw with them here. Even though they definitely have a good chance of getting out of the group.
Yeah. You can make the same case for Envy, right? Really horrible year for them.
Yep.
I feel like it's a team like that because I think that we've gone out time and time again saying that, you know, confidence is a massive thing and we don't have any. You know, after all the major winners falling down to drop out of groups, don't even qualify for things. I think they're ranked 13th now. You know, like that massive drop off. And I think that a win, at least for somewhere, except for Gfinity, because that doesn't really count. Versus good teams,
top
teams.
Win somewhere, only where you want the win to be.
Exactly. You know, in a premier tournament, I think that's what they really need.
Hold on, the Gfinity tournament was a premier tournament.
All right.
I mean, I know some of the teams may not have been in the best position at that particular time.
Well, that's what I'm saying in terms of high class teams.
Nothing to do with the tournament.
No, exactly. I think
it's always about the teams, though. When we talk about tournaments.
Oh yeah, you can have a tournament without any prize money as long as the good teams are there. I don't really care. You know. Right. But I think that's really what Envy needs. It's like they need like a pick-me-up. I feel like they still have the good players. Yep. Nothing has really changed. I mean, Sixer. I think in 1.6 it was a pretty. It was probably a better play than he is in CS:GO. And I feel like,
and he was an opera back then actually, which is weird when you watch him play now. He plays a completely different role.
But I just feel like they just need a good run, and you were saying with SK and Dignitas both having stand-ins here, that gives them an in as well. You know, maybe make it out of groups, maybe have a good semi-final. Who knows, right? Like it's wide open, and we'll see what they have in store for us. But yeah, I definitely see even coming into it without the stand-ins, Group E was still the easier group, right? If you look at both of the standings, but I mean, Reda has like a cheat sheet, and it's the detail
it's
in
all
there.
Stats I've stolen off Tommy. That's
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
really
It's
is.
not just a sheet; it's a cheat book.
Yeah,
just to clarify.
But it has like in terms of for each of these teams,
Yeah.
it does become like somewhat interesting in terms of who has played one another, what are the stats for it, and if you look at it that way, not just necessarily looking at the rankings, it's actually a very even group.
Indeed, they do have a chance. Good points raised. Let's move on to our first game in this particular group. SK Gaming versus Dignitas. It is the two teams, of course, that have a player missing, and the first up is SK. What sort of impact?
Wait, did someone misspell FNX on the far right?
They've put an O in there, Tommy, instead of an N. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
And you get a couple of new tattoos as well.
They've got Fox in there. What is this going to do to this team? I mean, a lot of actually, I have to tell this is a true story. Someone did write to me on Twitter and say, "How are they going to play with a guy who's not even from Brazil?" Yes, I had that as a tweet. Someone actually tweeted that. I had to point out that they can speak Portuguese. It's the same similar language in the sense of... Anyway.
I mean, that's the importance of education that we talked about earlier.
That's why Magic Boy studied.
That was your good deed of the
You're
day.
right. That's why Magic's boy should not be here, because he should be
Exactly.
chasing his education.
Exactly.
To understand what you can speak Portuguese in two different countries, at least. Seriously, though, how does he fit into this team? They've already got one AWPer in Fallen. They've got two, effective with coldzera, and now they've got three.
No, this is one of these things where it's going to be really hard to decide how you adjust, right? Because you have two different ways to look at it. One, you replace FNX, you tell Fox, you do exactly what FNX did. We're going to all play exactly the same. We were the world's best doing this. You just plug this hole to the best.
That can't work, though, can it?
No, exactly. Here's the thing. But they only have two tournaments, and they've had very little time. So then the other option is, which is what people have been saying that apparently they were saying on their streams is what they're going to do, is coldzera is just going to rifle now. He's not going to op. And then Fox is going to be the secondary opper, which makes more sense in terms of roles. But I just cannot imagine for the life of me that not going the Navi way.
You're not
where
going to need to, because they're going to show us any moment now.
where if SK starts losing, how is coldzera not going to go as simple and be like, I'm going to pick that op up?
Yeah, okay, let's take a look at Team Dignitas. Sorry, Tommy, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Let's take a look at Dignitas, because I'm hearing that the players are very close to getting ready as well. And that's their lineup. Valdo, of course, the new one in the team for Magic Sport, who I would say, Robin, arguably has been their best player for the last few months.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you look at it that way, that's why I was saying it before when we were talking about each group and about Fox and SK. Valde is a great pickup, because Valde is Heroic's best player, and he's by far one of the best up-and-comers in Denmark. So getting him as a stand-in, it's not. I'm not calling Fox a downgrade, but I think that Valde fits the team better. Instead of Magic's boy, then Fox fits the team better with FNX, right? So I that's why I kept on saying that I think Dignitas got the better trade here in terms of, like, I don't think they're going to struggle too much with Valde. I think that if anything, they're going to be somewhat the same. Maybe Valde will help them out in terms of, like, maybe some new ideas, maybe something Heroic does. So I do not actually see that they will be any worse with Valde.
In a way, we're going to head to the vetoes in just a moment. Do you think, Tommy, that this actually is nice for Dignitas in a way that they can just drop a player in like this in a much almost seemingly easy way? Like Robin said, it's a much better fit for them in terms of the SK. Does that give them the advantage in this particular matchup?
Well, I'm not sure if it's enough to sway the odds completely to their side, but I mean, if you just compare which team got the better fit, like Robin said, yeah, Dignitas got better off from making the switch. I think they're better off with Valde playing against Fox than they were if they had Magisk and SK had FNX. I think this is better for them.
Yeah.
With that being said, I mean, I think Magic's boy is probably the second hardest player to replace on Dignitas. I think Config does play some of the roles that, like, you just have very few players who can do the same things. That's going to be almost impossible to replace. Now, the one big issue for Dignitas is they're obviously a very tactical team, maybe the most, like, tactics preparation heavy team under MSL, and that's the question, right? It's like how much
does he fulfill
yeah, exactly.
those
Like, how can he
roles?
adjust? Is he going to be one of those guys who's really struck to, we're doing this this way, and you need to be able to do this?
Yeah.
Or is he going to be able to say, you just run around here, do your thing, and we're going to play off of it?
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be the
It's not
curious
just
thing.
a role either. It's almost a round-by-round decision of where I want you to go and what I want you to do specifically in that. Is he going to be able to adapt? We're going to find out. Obviously, I'm hearing that the vetoes have been completed. We're going to be playing Overpass
That's interesting, because I spoke to Magisk actually a couple of days ago, and I asked him what he thinks about Valde. He's basically just said like they have similar playing styles, they play a lot of similar spots actually on different maps. Overpass actually, Valde is the best offline player in the past 3 months on the map. I think Magisk Boy is number 2.
Right.
But the one thing Magisk Boy actually said is, he said there's 2 maps where I think his roles are very different from Valde's, or like it's just very specific in the sense that he would be hard to replace. The other one is Overpass.
Right.
And obviously the way Dignitas have been winning on Overpass, their CT side has been really good. A big part of that is how aggressive they play on A. That's usually the definition of how good you are on CT side of Overpass, is how aggressive you can play on A. You can force the terrorists back, force them to use all their nades, just clearing the bathroom areas. And that's what Magisk does for them. He's very good at doing the aggressive stuff around that area.
All right, I'm hearing that the players are ready to kick this one off, so let's hand you over to our commentary team. Spectre, Dan and James.
Apparently it's on us. The preview monitor's here. So interestingly enough, I was looking at Paul's face still, who's shaking his head and laughing at me because I'm looking at the wrong preview screen. Henry!
Hello.
We're in Anaheim.
We are. We didn't do any online stuff, but we're here for the LAN finals.
We are.
Bit of a shame. We couldn't do any of it, but glad they still had us anyway.
Quite busy.
We have been quite busy. This is an interesting game, isn't it? SK Gaming versus Dignitas. Both of us stand in as well. So Dignitas have got Vald and SK Gaming have got Fox. Pretty difficult to predict what's going to go down here. I have no idea, to be honest. I've kind of spoke to Dignitas outside. You spoke to SK Gaming.
I did, a little bit.
They said
in the bathroom of all places.
Of course. Where else would you be? So they said they feel actually more comfortable with Fox in lineup.
Yeah, I would say they feel more comfortable. They just say they're playing a more organized game of Counter-Strike with him over the last week. So obviously the one thing with SK is they were a very structured team. Once they started winning tournaments, they got comfortable enough to start loosening up because they had the foundation to fall back on. They no longer have that confidence in knowing how Fox is playing, so I feel like they're just sort of sticking to very traditional CS in that sense. Now, the other interesting thing I talked to them about is obviously bringing in Fox, who had his troubles playing a support role on, at the time, G2, then FaZe, as a rifle as opposed to the AWP. When he swapped with Michael Lele, that's when he started to come alive again, and he was still getting a lot of flack because it was already built up. There was already that, circle whatever online against him. But the interesting thing about it was that Fox was actually quite good in the AWP. So I asked if he was going to be playing the double op, and they actually said yes. It means Cold's probably not, but they're not going to be running it as much in general.
I think that's the most efficient way to do it. Obviously, it's a very efficient setup. They've got one of the deadliest double ops in the world with Fallen and coldzera, but Fox, obviously, like he said, he's into his absolute best when he's got a secondary AWP position. I think that's going to be great for him. We'll go into the game right now. And the pistol is going to be, I think it's opening things up with 2 frags. Very quick towards B, it seems. Actually rushing in towards Monster, and it will be cajunb finding 2 frags there, 4 on 2 in favour of Dignitas.
Valde, he's already back toward the water as well. Watch the rotations that have to come around right now, because this is where it gets a little bit interesting with Bomb down and only 2 players left and Fallen on 8 HP. He has to find information for Fur, but Fur is gone. Config finds the kill. Dignitas looking to open this up early on. I mean, you mentioned the fact that, yes, they have Fox in. Dignitas with Valde as well. It's kind of one of equal, I guess, terms in that sense.
Been fantastic recently.
Yes, I didn't call him one of my breakout players of the year just because he's been late into Heroic, and Heroic has kind of quieted down.
I think the last couple of events, the thing is, without getting the results, Heroic recently with him, it's difficult to put him up there. Obviously, he's been fantastic for them. They're still doing, I think, difficult results in these tournaments, so it's difficult to give him that star player performance, But yeah, good round for Dignitas there. Most teams do favour towards the B side. It's almost guaranteed to get a bomb down there, and they actually find the first couple of frags going into that one as well. 1-0 for Dignitas. There is going to be a semi-forced buy from SK Gaming. 2 players of armor. They'll be Fallen and Taco as well. They won't go for armor at all, so they're going to have 5-7s and Deagles. You see them setting up right now. It looks like another B side of attack. Volder holding the flanks there, and we've got 2 players watching for any aggression from the CT set towards the B side. Contact play coming in, RUBINO leading the charge.
RUBINO's going to go in with cajunb immediately on his heels, but MSL finds the opening. It's Fox to go down. Cold responds. MSL's the one that he finds, but RUBINO's there. We said they were walking in for Monster. All the action goes onto the sandbags, and therefore wrapping around with weapons. The pistols can't do much. Fallen will fall, and it's going to be just for remaining 1 versus 4. Bomb goes down again on the B site. So 2 hard approaches onto B. They do slow it up a little bit. They don't just rush in carelessly. But that seems to be where the aggression is so far for Dignitas.
Yeah, they wanted to wait for the start of the round, see what's going on, see if there is any aggression coming from the CTs. They did the contact play with that UMP going in first. That's actually designed to take down those close range players, those tight angles that can be coming in. You can jump around the corner, still have accuracy with that UMP, and they managed to find the first couple of frags here and keep 4 players alive as well. Fur with head armor and a CZ, and that should be holding up. Where is he? Towards the exit of the bomb site as well, hoping to see whether anyone can run into his cross at this point. Don't think we'll get anything for this. You can save the CZ and the head armor as well. It's going to be decent to take the next round, upgraded to a Deagle. So 4 players staying alive for Dignitas, as you said. Focusing on that B site, absolutely fine. I don't mind that at all as long as they don't rush straight in there. It can be so chaotic if you just go for a straight up B rush on the anti-ecos. Here we go then. The redundant round almost. Yes, the Divo has been saved in first armor, but the rest of his teammates can't really justify much more than maybe some PT50s here. So, Dignitas looking to keep 5 players alive. They've got 2 SMGs to work with. MSL with the Mac 10. RUBINO with that UMP. Just going to try and farm some cash, throw those players into the bomb sites first, see what they can do. Should be very smooth sailing indeed going to round number 3. B again, it seems.
That seems the third time's the charm, perhaps. RUBINO's going to take the bomb over toward the monster. That indicates, as you say, that they're going to be over on that side of the map. Watch the push out from SK, though. A little bit different this time. They do look for more information early toward places like the statue and inside the bathrooms. Fur right now is going to walk down and toward the underpass as well to make sure he can see anyone that's rotating back up, but it's inside of the site already with bomb. And they have a player waiting exactly there. Valde on the other side of the smoke that's going to take down Taco. They'll go hunting for him alone because that'll give them a gun if they can find the kill fast enough. Config's wrapped back around. It's going to take Fur down, and still that gun sits there, but Fox has to get toward it.
Well, they do find 1 kill, take down Valde there, but he'd already found 2 frags, and it's going to be poor old Fox remaining there. It will be 3-0 in favour of Dignitas, looking very comfortable at the moment. This is where the things start to get interesting, of course. We'll have the orbs coming in. I'm not sure we can afford the double orb setup for the CTs here. Just will be Fallen purchasing that orb. He's got no head armour as well, not a big deal against the AK-47s, of course. So, considering the bias SK have got, you can see no kits there. They're limited on utilities. Well, I'd say Fallen probably has to go aggressive at this point. Needs to be looking for that first frag. Has to find some sort of advantage for SK. Yeah, they can't really fend off a full execution here, so we'll be boosting up towards mid. Flashed off for now. We'll be falling back towards the bathrooms.
Meanwhile, cajunb is going to set with his AWP this time out toward long. So once the guns come up, they do start to put pressure elsewhere on the map. A more fanned out approach from the SK side. Fallen on that AWP, as you mentioned. This is going to be, I think, again, I think Overpass as well kind of lends itself to the fact that you can play a single op more effectively. There's more close quarters inside the B site, so it doesn't matter, perhaps, if they don't run a double op as much here. But throughout the tournament, it is something we do have to watch a little bit more closely with them.
Absolutely. It means the retakes can be a bit more easier to recover. Retaking with AWP, and you've got a wall of smokes down in front of you, Molotovs to fend off. It can be easy to have the M4, a bit more mobility there. So Fallen, he's falling back towards long at this point. It could be 3 players. Like I said, the CDs are going to struggle if a full execution comes in at this point. The smoke comes in. It's designed to make Fallen actually retreat a little bit there. They have got long control as well. The bomb is still towards long. They don't have to commit at this point. Still a lot of time remaining for Dignitas. It's just about 1 minute remaining as they go towards A, it seems. In terms of their smokes, they have 2 remaining as well. Flashbangs to follow. So you'd assume they've already spoken towards CT spawn and blank area. Flash over, but cajunb opening things up. Takes down the AWP with the CTs as well. And that should be the signal to actually commit to this bomb site.
I believe so. Oh, Versat. It's going to be Fur. Takes down RUBINO on the way back through, though. That's going to open up backstairs. Smoked off. Cold can't find his way back in, and they do have the default position for the plant, but they're not going to commit to it. They still want to flush the bathrooms, and Valde does exactly that by finding Fur. Cajun with a quick flash over. Those smokes slowly dissolving in the backstairs, and as I said, Cold's been locked off. Fox is now there as well. And they managed to finally get through, and they don't trade on that, actually. So Cold able to pick up cajunb retreating. That takes the AWP out of the equation for the post plant, but they still have 3 inside of the bathrooms that SK is going to have to find. And a nifty little boost. I'm not sure it's planted quite wide enough to be able to get to the diffuser on that, but it will give them a lineup on the way through, and Config finds the shot. And now he'll get aggressive as well. Waits for the push to come back out around. Taco might pincer him back in. MSL, he's got the first shot behind. Config's there immediately after, and he's heard Taco heading back out towards the front of him. He's got the 1 versus 2, and Config holds it true.
Yeah.
Nicely done for him. 3 kills in the post-plant situation.
The thing is as well, like I said before, the CD didn't have the kits to work with there. So yes, they go for the retake there, but it's almost in vain. Even if they found those 2 kills, it wasn't guaranteed to actually get the defuse in. Config lights them up, finds 3 kills there. 2 nice headshots to finish things off as well. And will we see the force buy here from SK? I can see the scouts come in. That's in the hands of Fallen. I think it's been dropped for him, so it's not going to be a force, but he's got a couple of deagles here and a scout, and we'll see whether Fallen can find anything with this. Didn't actually get too much rolling with the AWP before. Got taken down by cajunb, and you can see Dignitas have lost the AWP themselves. It's actually going to be down to RUBINO on a Mac 10, but they know it's going to be an eco from the CTs. Not really worth having the AWP. There's a chance you could lose it and give them more firepower there.
Ooh, nice shot. That's a lovely shot from Fallen. RUBINO goes down. MSL does wait smartly, holds the angle, and both of them trying to pursue the second player get taken down by MSL. AK-47 winning out. Dignitas looking solid so far.
Yeah. This is a dream scenario, really. Win that pistol, the first gun round, the money's weak. Fur finds a kill there, brings it down to the 3 versus 2 as I say that, and will be him dying as well. Just Fox remaining now. CZ, no nades, does find a little scout, but at this point it's not even worth saving that, to be honest. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to fend off the almost guaranteed AWP for cajunb next round, I would say. It's kind of shot, but cajunb does take him down. 5-0 on the T side here of Overpass. Very confident stuff from Dignitas so far. I haven't really had to fully execute. They've been getting long control and actually pushing them back and finding those initial kills as well as Fallen the drops in the first gun round. Ooh, the buy comes in once again. They have got kits this time and some nades. Still not ideal, but certainly a lot stronger than the first one. So 1-0 once again. cajunb, like I said, he'll bring out the Overpass once more. Got the better of Fallen in that first gun round. Can he do the same again?
Try and do exactly that. cajunb just waiting to see if there's going to be an aggressive push toward the top of the park. It's Spur instead, though, that wraps around. He's managed to jump by that smoke and then fall back as well because of it. So it's worked out quite well for SK in that sense. They don't put a second man out. So if Fur went down, there was no trade potential for them, but he gets away with it, and that leaves Fallen still in a good position on the AWP. As such, he's now going to try and force his way toward the bathrooms and get a spot out toward the statue position. Shot through, not successful. Valde and RUBINO are getting a little bit closer, so back to the site they have to go, but smartly they're doing it because this is exactly the play. You don't need to overextend and give away the man advantage.
So we have got some long control here. cajunb with that AWP going to be facing in towards a bank carrier. Fires off a shot, gives the position away, but at least he knows that actually long's clear at this point. It looks like they will be committing towards A. They have 2 smokes remaining once again. Could do the smokes to fall back towards B. They actually give the bomb to the player who's going to be towards connected, so that could be a real possibility at this point. We'll see what happens. Still plenty of time to work with as well. This is a little bit of a problem, but SK have got the man advantage for now at least.
RUBINO's starting to get a little bit closer, a little bit feistier. It's Valde that's inside of that bathroom position though, and Fallen searching him out. He's going to find him with the AWP. Smart read. Leaves Fur on the inside. He may not even need to go to Fur though, because Fallen finds RUBINO, takes the bomb down. He'll have spotted that, and it leaves just 2 Dignitas players. Finally, the Brazilians, the Portuguese guests, will pick up a round. It's Fur to take the last kill.
Nice clean round there from SK as well. Much stronger in terms of the kits and the nades to actually hold them off a little bit longer. You can see down to that 30-second mark is where Fallen starts hitting all the shots required here. Close range action in the bathrooms area. Takes down Valde, and he finds a second as well. It's going to be RUBINO dropping there. So nice to see Fallen arriving finally, and we're going to see what happens here around number 7. Not a full reset potential for SK, keeping 5 players alive. It's not as dead as it potentially could be, but still it will be looming as we go to round number 7 here. Still a full buy for Dignitas, of course, after winning 5 rounds in a row. Focusing more towards B, it seems. Not going to be the default we saw before. Going to have 3 players outside Monster. And have we got a little adjustment here from the CTs? We have got Fox and Taco towards Monster himself, waiting quite close.
It's going to smoke off short as well, so they've got both monsters and bags covered off. Dignitas this time's playing a much slower game. They have money to work with. Obviously, that's their first round they've lost. Keep in mind, reset becomes a factor for SK, but they were quite efficient in the last. Yeah. Speaking of Fox, yet to get onto the scoreboard, so we do have to keep that in mind. I don't want to harp on him too much. Obviously, he's a mercenary, as you would say. He's in a tougher position, but he's going to be playing the Major with them as well, and they are 2-time defending Major champions. There's a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, we get to the 1-minute mark once again. No action being traded at all so far, but you can see Dignitas potentially setting up back towards that B side. That's where they had so much success in those first 5 rounds. We'll be flashing over. RUBINO, first man in. That's going to spot Taco. Gets a better of it as well. Looking for the double. Nails it. Both headshots going in favour of RUBINO, and it's going to be Val chiming in as well. 5-on-2. Almost certainly going to have to be the save here, considering it is a reset round and Fallen with the AWP as well. If he saves the AWP in the M4, they can buy into it. If both those weapons go down, they're going to be in a world of trouble going forward. So just to have to save at this point.
How courageous was that from RUBINO? Sees the Molotov come in, realizes it's just about to dissolve, times it with the utility, walks in. And they weren't expecting. They had 2 players there. They almost had a crossfire perfectly set. And because the Flames were there, they thought, we'll watch short in the meantime. Catches them both out in one-on-ones. Yeah. Round over.
They were ready for it as well. We built it up. When they're waiting outside the Monster Tunnel, they're actually waiting for the players to come through that area. Nice contact play, really, from Dignitas. Running through the fire initially is RUBINO, though. Very efficient in those first 2 kills. Pretty much opens up the bomb side by himself. Config came in and found the player who was on the bomb side as well. Round over. Fallen with a lovely shot, though. I thought he was going to stay alive at that point, but Config will take him down. He finds his second frag. I think he got dropped with the bomb there, but still, that's a massive round for Dignitas to pick back up. We said it wouldn't be full reset potential, but considering the money right now, they only get $1,400 going into this round, so I think a partial buy has to come in at this point. Fur, he's got $5,300. Then you could drop some PT50s over, but this is looking like a 7-1 for Dignitas. But a lot of one-sided games here today, especially Astralis. They're looking great. Fantastic form from them in the first 2 opening games from them. I was very much enjoying that. And we'll see what
I have to say, Astralis has turned around so well bringing Liv.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully that continues for them.
I do, just for the bet Anders Moses has got.
Anders said in like the end of July that Astralis would win the next major, and I think he was just trolling. Yeah. They're peaking at the right time. Yep. If it happens, we will never, ever, ever hear the end of it. Like, I may have to like leave CS just to get away from trying to live that down.
Well, CZ's, Deagles, 5-7s. A little bit aggressive towards short there, but it looks like... Okay, I thought they were going to flash that, be efficient with it. Val does recover the frag, and she's going to find the second as well. That's Fox going down. Let's have a look on Fox.
Yeah, still 0-7. He's got 1 assist, so it's not double O, but it's all Dignitas finding opening kills. Again, he gets caught out there. First player goes down. Vault is able to pincer him in. They had a player at short as well. Fallen's trying to wrap around. You're going to touch on something.
I'm just going to put it to you now. I'm always going to guarantee Fox brings out that orb next round. The double orb setup.
I think they've got to. This is the desperate time when he needs to do it.
He's having a rough game. Let's say, right, get yourself the orb. Let's get you some confidence. Go towards B. A little bit aggressive towards Monster Tunnel. Potentially get you boosted up on short, perhaps. See if you can find that first frag. Let's get you rolling. I think that has to be the call at this point. So coldzera.
The other aspect of it, that's not bad. Don Rubino, at least one that leaves just Valde, so chip away at the economy where you can, mates, but they've still got a round in hand quite comfortably on the Dignitas side. That's all they have, though. Not 2, not like they're built up into 5 digits yet. I asked as well if they do go double op with Fox, does he play the aggressive style like Cold said? And that's when I got the answer from Fallen that we're not going to be running it as much. So again here, you thought that they would go that direction. I don't know if they had...
Fox only had $4,100.
Yeah, there you go.
So he's got no nades, it's an M4, it's getting really rough for him. coldzera aggressive towards Fountain here.
And they couldn't
for
drop.
now.
No one could drop. Taco, yeah, no, he couldn't.
Yeah, look how undetected coldzera is. This is a fantastic position to be in. He's actually almost guaranteed a frag at this point. Whether he gets more than one, that's yet to be seen.
This is the saving grace in that position as well, because thinking just from his perspective, okay, if someone walks behind him, he's just sitting duck. He's got fur at long. The problem is Fur's playing it quite passively, so it would be a trade if they do slip around and MSL just takes his head off. A lovely shot. That's such a well-read play. I don't know. I didn't see them get any information of him getting there.
Well, they were flashed off, right? So they know that they're missing information, so you've got to have a look at it. So I thought he was guaranteed at least one, then taken down. But that was really nice from MSL. At this point, they don't have to overcommit. The CTs on the back foot once again. The money's on in a fantastic position. They've got 1 kit. Lacking nades is 1 smoke at this point as well. Dignitas in such a strong position. Vada will be clearing out the connector halls there. Looks like back towards B, Old Faithful, why not? It's been working out so well before. Let's keep applying pressure to that position. It will be Fox looking to get off the duck here. No nades to actually contend them with. Let's go for straight up firepower here.
Fox waiting. M4 in hand. As you said, not going to be the AWP double flash. He's sitting in the open. He's got to watch the player coming in for Monster, and it's Config crouching underneath. Headshot on the AK. RUBINO follows it up again. Dignitas able to walk into B almost, well, aside from HP loss for free, and they'll get another bomb down as well. This is going from bad to worse, and I know Lurpus just put out a tweet seconds ago about the T side being poor for SK on Overpass. That's not looking good.
The CT synergy on the B-bomb side isn't quite there. They don't know they're playing off each other, right? It's like they're in 2 separate positions, one rushing Monster, one rushing short. You want to be kind of in tandem with each other in terms of who's facing what. You get the aggro, the other one faces, you kind of like, you need that chemistry going on for it to be successful. Exist and Freiburg have been excellent at that recently. They've actually become a very strong Overpass team just because that CD setup on the Overpass for them is fantastic. They actually are formidable in that area. Just not seeing that at the moment from SK. They look a little bit lost on the B side. That's why Dignitas keep going there. And I think at this point, this is when you can start start playing them a little bit. Start doing the fakes towards B, go force the rotations, go back towards A. That's what you want to be doing now. I assume maybe a pause comes in at this point. I think that's undoubtedly true. It has to come in at this point in time. They've got the op saved on Fallen, but this is where you start to want, if they can't get the double up, do they take Fallen over to B on it? Do they try and get him a fast pick toward Monster? Does he play toward the window? How does he approach that? And if, like you say, they are going to slow it down, MSL starts to try and read what's going on in A to see if there's anything changed on B. If they don't see that op on A, then they might just attack there. So it's still a tough call in that sense. Good read, MSL. You're about to point this out at Mac 10. Yeah, so we have got SK with an AWP, but the rest of the players will be on a save. So the Mac 10 going in first, MSL, he seems like he's on point right now in terms of reading the game very well, so why not? He can throw himself into like short on B, for example. Like, once again, that could be the fake they need. He goes in and gets 2 frags. Teammates are waiting towards long. That could be a great call right now. And they just need to work out where Fallen's going to be with this AWP. So sorry?
Keep talking. It's fine.
Yeah?
Yes.
Did you have anything interesting to say?
No, I was just going to say it could be a day of Danish domination. I mean, Astralis looked so confident in Group A. So far, Dignitas, massive start on SK. Who I have to say, I think this is, yes, Dignitas, RUBINO stepping up, those 2 kills walking through the flames. MSL, good reads, as you say. Yeah, they're playing well, but this is SK really struggling. I'm not buying what Fallen was selling me at this point. Yeah,
well, the only time they've looked even confident is when Fallen found those 2 AWP kills towards the bathroom area. It wasn't a clean round, really. He just went aggressive and got things rolling for them. I haven't seen a nice default round from them whatsoever. But here we go then, run to round number 10. Towards middle this time, like I said. They've been going to B so much. You can see there are 3 players with the CTs there. It's interesting where's Fallen going to be. That's where I want to know. He's going to be actually towards a B site, is it?
He's going into the underpass. He's opened the door inwardly. Thankfully, no one down the hall to see that. He's trying to spot the stairs in case they wrap around, but they've gone onto A fast. They've changed it up. This is exactly the call you were talking about. The chance to start to play with the defense, but the defense being coldzera on that A site. He stepped up, found one already, goes down, but default position Denial from Taco. It's RUBINO to jump around and try and catch him off with AK successfully, so double smoke out toward the stairs as well. Fur's gotten in behind them, though. They're smartly going to the inside of the box. They don't have information in the bathroom, so a great call again. Mid-round, those are where teams can make little mistakes. Where you get a little bit overconfident. You say, okay, guys, we're in the A site. No problem, I'll go for the default plant. But no one clears bathrooms. They're all communicating well. They're well aware of that fact. They go to the inside of the boxes, denies Fur the chance of being sneaky, and then they close out the round.
Yeah, what's so good about that as well, they've no fallen safe into the AWP in the previous round. They've gone to B so many times in a row. We know the Orb's probably going to be in that position. If you're SK, you think, okay, they're going to be, let's send that Orb to there and see what he can do. That's another great call there. Nice and simple towards the A side, splitting between short and long, and actually just locking it down. The smokes come in, finding those first frag, falling locked out of the round, had to push through smoke to even find anything. Fox still on the duck, I'm afraid, as we go into round number 11 here. We haven't got a single Orb here for the CT. He's really struggling now. 5 and 4s, 2 kits, limited with the utility as well. No incendiaries at all. Fast play from the Dignitas, going in towards Connector, challenging with the Molotovs, and this is going to be using absolutely everything to eradicate risks here. 2 players now waiting for them on the other side. coldzera and Fur need to find these first 2 frags, and MSL free-firing once again. And they get the first frag, and MSL finds the second. Will be a 4-on-3 at this point. Once again, Dignitas, so much time to play with. They've got the man advantage, don't need to commit, just need to see what the reaction is. And Fox finally arrives on their server and takes an MSL there.
That's the start of it. Perhaps that's the start for SK. Maybe better late than never?
Well, it's never over until it's over. They can still get 9-6,
late to the party, that's what I always say. Taco's in good position, but he's trying to back away, and RUBINO gets caught, rather catches Fox as a result of it, but does get caught off by Taco, sliding back out, smoke in front. And he gets pincered in, a good pitch play from cajunb. Config follows up again. Dignitas is looking absolutely incredible, I have to say, and again, SK get a little bit caught out with a very passive position from Fox toward jungle.
Yeah, this is when you're in the bin map. This is when you're...
You are almost the bin juice.
You're almost there. You have to keep force buying at this point. You've got maximum loss bonus. Your CD side, you're breaking out the 3 UMPs, the 2 Famises. It's desperate times. You need to go aggressive at this point. You can't sit back and allow Dignitas to pick you off on the one. Let's push short or something. Let's get something rolling. We need to find that first kill. Surprise them. I think they may be pushing that position. You've got 4 players on B. Just going to be poor old Fur, I believe, holding the A side by himself with UMP. Good luck that, my friends, as he lies in wait towards the bathroom area, where it could all go wrong at any second here. If he goes down, that's round over, I'm afraid. And we'll see what happens. 12, RUBINO. Let's find one. They've pushed towards B, like I said. They have to be a little bit more assertive for the CTs. Can't just sit back and allow full execution to come in.
Push toward long now as well from Dignitas, but this is going to leave such a passive player rotation over. Watch the player in bathrooms, though. That's what you need to watch here is Fur, because again, he's going to let them bypass.
When you know they've got Famises and UMPs, very unlikely to have that AWP, right? So long's a perfect position to go. The AK's going to outgun those positions every single time. Flash is coming to this point. Got control of it, smoked it off, you're taking away CT vision, that forces rotations. The bomb's still around T-spawn. That could just be a play. We'll take that vision away for 20 seconds, go back towards B once again. We're so good at executing towards that area. We know Fox is playing there, who doesn't seem to be fragging at all right now, and I think that's going to be the call right now. Valde and Cajun slowly make their way towards that site. Fur and Taco and another player as well towards the A side of the map, so Dignitas is toying with them right now.
Getting closer again to clearing out this monster side. Like you say, they've already forced off this rotation. Fox is above as well. I wanted to check to make sure he wasn't inside the window. That's the one stacked position on the minimap, so it can be misleading. It's only cold over toward B.
Yeah, and it's
and they've gone down monster. This is the interesting thing. They've gone down monster, and Config's actually waiting for rotations. So they may not check short. Volta considers it for a moment, but Config caught off. That's the chance for Cold to pop back out. Smokes in front of him. He won't find the shot. Sees him retreating. Gets good damage in, but MSL able to turn to take Taco. Fox will find yet another. It's down to the 2 versus 2. Cold still has good position, but with the smokes in front of both of them, it makes it a harder task of trying to get toward the bomb with no kits. Keep in mind, Cajun flashed off, wants to get more aggressive. Another smoke out on the right side of the pillar. Cajun gets found, though. It's Fox with a second in the round. Time to step up, time to win them a frag out. And Cold reads the fact that Valde's gone around. They'll pick up finally a clutch as they manage the retake.
There it is, coldzera. Alone on that B side, finds 3 frags with the Famis there. Very good movement from him as well, dropping the smokes at the perfect time, giving himself some time to work with that. And you can see, here's the replay right now. Fox actually finding that first frag, and then it was coldzera lighting them up. There it is. Second round for SK Gaming. Still, though, comes down to that 2-on-2. So much money available for Dignitas. Look at their buy now. And they can still got the orbs, the AKs, all the nades required. Still a decent buy for SK Gaming. We can see a UMP still in the hands of Fur. If they lose this one, it's almost guaranteed they're going to be full eco next round, and that could be another 2 rounds going against him. We'll see what happens here as we go to round number 13. Fur aggressive with this UMP. Going to do well to actually find anything with this, but he actually gets the bomb down. MSL drops. Can he actually get it down unscathed? I don't think he can. Config finds him in return, and that makes our frag almost in vain at this point. Huge advantage for the terrorists at this point. 4 on 4 when you know the CTs are slightly limited. Fallen nails the shot though, brings it back towards SK.
Good pickup. The AWP, they desperately need to convert every single remaining round in the half as they get this down to a 4 versus 2, still with the advantage, and this has shuffled them over toward the A site. Fallen's pushed up toward Monster. There's a chance to wrap back down through the lower stairs, but with that information and him that far out, they're going to go exactly where SK wants them to. Cajun checks corner, lovely shot, Cold gets caught. You would have thought he had that for sure. Manages to land and nail it, and this is going to give Valda the shot onto Taco. They're suddenly in toward the site. Fox misses the opening duel, does damage, but Config goes down. It's a blunder. It's a 4 versus 3. Down to a 3 versus 1. Low HP on absolutely everyone, but it's an AWP. If he goes to the pistol, he might even have a better chance. He wants the range. Bomb planted on the truck as well. No one's going to move. No one's going to cross this position for Fallen.
Yeah, fortunately for Fox, he was given that kill on the plate. Just couldn't control the spray there, the AK, and does significant damage at that point. That was a really important frag. If he gets out and stays alive, he stops him planting. He actually holds him off the bomb site for a little bit longer. His teammate potentially can help out there. Very crucial frag. Couldn't land it, and then it's going to be another round for Dignitas here. So only $1,400 for SK going into the next round. We built it up in the start of this one. If they don't win that round, they are absolutely done for. Fallen does save an orb, so something, I guess. And at this point, 11-2. You probably just have to force buy around this orb and hope for the best. 3 players survive for Dignitas. And after a promising performance from coldzera in the previous round, that's the only round they're getting mad is when one player steps up tremendously. The previous round is coldzera 3 frags. The other round they got was when Fallen goes nuts at the orb. There haven't been any convincing rounds at all yet. On the gun rounds, it hasn't really impressed me whatsoever. So like I said, probably going to have to force around this AWP and see what they can do with it. It's round number 14. So what have we got? We've got 2 pistols, an M4 and a UMP once again. A lot of pressure on Fallen's shoulders here. He'll go towards long and try and challenge for that first frag. MSL, interesting enough, goes for the MAC-10. All things considered, I'd say you probably want to get the AK in this position. It's very likely they're going to force buy. RUBINO fast towards short, just trying to investigate here. Not spotting anything just yet, and Fallen encroaching towards long.
And Fox maybe pressure getting to him because that's the shots he needs to hit to pull that back. The damage was done. Spotted one jumping out the window. They know the rotations are already coming in. Good dink in reverse though onto RUBINO. That puts him down to 31. And it was Fox he was firing at, so that'll push him out from behind the barrels just temporarily. He's gone to the pillar. But Fur and Fallen pushed up on toward A. They're rotating back across, but no one's watching that stairwell. Fallen's going to go back to bathrooms. Fur's gone the other direction. I would have thought they tried to play that together and hold them over.
You can see cajunb though. He's aware that T-Spawn could be a possibility. He's going very slow in this position. I say that though. Oh
no! SK is off today. That is... It's not just Fox. Everyone's... coldzera missing the shot on Cajun. Now it's Fur's turn to do the same. They're not converting.
They can hear the footsteps coming as well. He's anticipating that frag coming into his crosshair. Just can't get the aim right. The UMP lets him down, and the bomb planted as well. Fallen. They've got no kits map, no nades. They just have to save his weapons.
To be fair, and I'm sure he did hear it, but it is Fur who is the one who struggles with hearing.
Sure, but I think it's more directional sound.
Yeah, that's right. It's left and right that he struggles with.
Like, that's straight in front of you. You should just been hear that all day long.
It's the new sound update, Henry. It's broken.
Well, it's you can opt in and opt out.
I know. I'm kidding.
So, it was a funny joke, though. Well done.
Thank you. Did you know I've done the math? Good wraparound from MSL to find Taco rotating over. In the player names in this game, we have 23 of the 26 letters in the alphabet, and that is the highest I've ever had.
Is that what you've been doing this whole time?
We don't have Q, we don't have W, and we don't have Y, but every single other letter in the alphabet is in this game.
An insight to Matthew's brain there, everyone. It's a strange place, but he gets the job done.
I challenge anyone out there to find another professional match that had more than 23 letters.
Okay, well.
Maybe if Kakukli was still, or Quali was still playing. Kakukli.
One day.
Yeah, no. Please no.
Round number 15, here's going to be the AWP save. This is really rough for SK game. I thought this would be the hot game of the day, considering the storylines. Both players were mercenary. Thought, okay, it's going to be really tight. No one really running away with it, but so far, it's Dignitas with a one-sided affair here. It's going to be round number 15. We have got an AWP, a couple of SMGs here, and 2 pistols. Pretty horrible scenes for SK. It's very unlikely he can win this round. Unless Fallen can step up, he's towards long once again, not really being super assertive. He's actually in a strange position there, I believe. He's actually going to be quite aggressive towards long. He can fall back towards the bathroom, sure, but it's not an orthodox position for sure. Most players play on top of the flower bed or just behind it. He'll be trying to just watch the bathrooms and towards long. So we're going to another default here. Dignitas has been great at getting the long control. Don't even commit to it. Just push his CTs back, go back towards B. Good flashes coming in as well. And Fallen find his first kill. Here we go.
Trying to find it out toward long. Goes back to Beak. Nails it. Sees the second up close before the flash blooms as well. He's still got vision to get back. Still to be restored. Anticipates too soon, but nails it. Up close again. Falling so good at the angles on Overpass. Unfortunately, only when he has vision. As set, she goes down to Valde. And Cajun finding Cold's going to take down the crossfire potential, open up a little bit of space, and Fur responds accordingly by going back inside of the site.
Well, there it is. 3-on-2. SK desperately need his last round. 12-3 still possible. 13-2, not so much. Got an AK, 2 pistols here. I'd still favour this towards Dignitas though, but 30 seconds does make things a little tighter here. As Vald makes his way towards the bomb site now.
If you account, oh, lovely shot from Fur. If you account for the Twitch logo on the overlay, we have a W as well. So, but that doesn't count.
Yeah.
cajunb rotates back. Fox, as we already mentioned, was in this position, or rather, trying to hold this off, rather, and convincingly does so with a CZ. But I was going to say try and fall back and allow him to walk away, so that he doesn't have to take the duel. Does win it out. Doesn't matter at this point in time. Goes to 12-3. Dignitas. A very convincing first half, I have to say. It took too long for SK to get rolling.
Just those big rounds where Fallen or coldzera is stepping up. They managed to find 3. Never over until it's over. They win this pistol. I dare say they're back into this game. It's still not going to be a perfect Dignitas. Like we said, they've got a mercenary here as well. So
interestingly enough, Fox has actually passed Taco in terms of kills. Just to give you an idea, like we said, we were highlighting him because early on he was the one struggling. Everyone's missing shots on FK's side.
That's absolutely true. 12-3. And we're going to see Cajun here. If Dignitas get this pistol, that pretty much is one of the final nails in the coffin there. We'll see what happens here. SK have got the Superman buy. It's going to be Taco with that Tech 9 and armor. They've got a smoke and a Molotov as well with 2 flashbangs. So, got a passive play from the T so far. No rushing towards B for them. Going to be going slowly but surely towards middle. Very defensive hold for Dignitas as well. Not overcommitting here.
I do like the sound of the birds by the fountain. It's one of the most peaceful sounds in Counter-Strike.
Just before the war zone explodes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look for the positive side of things. Fur opens door. RUBINO, meanwhile, though, he's going to be stacked over toward bottom of stairs, so they aren't going to have any readout toward that construction position. It's a very passive angle, and Config is complementing that, in fact, by playing in barrels. So his obligation and his responsibility is onto short. Monster will be covered off by the boost, and then he'll swing wide if they do go that direction. And as we see it, they don't yet know it. That's exactly what is going to happen. Fur will check right corner first way in. Molotov will push back Config. Boost already gone, and it's going to be an entrance well executed from SK. Good shot from Taco on the Tech 9. We didn't talk too much about that, but Superman play for him. It's 2 players without armor. Config down. There's just armor left for the CTs. No kit in play. MSL starting to go back toward the site. It's Fur to hit the first shot, though, on Cajun, and now they all start peeking out. Fox and Fur. Taco as well again. They've all found the kills required, and it's just Valde remaining.
Yeah, well, not really much he can do apart from fast some cash right now. Fox does go down to 1 HP, and he finds a second as well. It's $600 for Valde so far. Looking for more. No, he can't win the round at this point, but every kill he gets is beneficial to him, not necessarily detrimental towards the team at all, but there it is. coldzera finds that final kill. It was a nice little B execution there. They actually push the CDs back towards the A site. You can see them getting that mid control towards bathrooms and short as well. CDs take a couple of pop shots, and then we have SK falling back towards B. That was always the intention, I believe, as well, from that Molotov purchase as well. You see them throw that behind the barrels. That flushes out any CD player there is watching towards Monster. They find the kill on him with that Superman buy. The B-bomb side falls apart for Dignitas. And now we have got a game on our hands. No force buy required here from Dignitas. I like this. We often talk about it, Matt, in almost every single game. When you have this sort of lead, you don't need a force buy in the second round of CTs. You want to make sure you have all those grenades, defuse kits, and an AWP just to finish things off efficiently here. So this is almost a redundant round here for Dignitas.
Whoa. Dink back in, though. Config.
Right.
You say redundant, but getting an AK-47 might give it something of a boost in the next to buy more economy. Nicely done, Fur. That'll give them, again, we talked about it, as you say, full save, CT side more expensive. At least not having to buy 1 rifle would give them something to complement.
It's just when you have this sort of lead. Like most teams will force buy in the second half, the second round of the CT half, but it's just when you, this particular scenario, I know Lurpus agrees with this as well. It's just it mathematically makes sense not to force buy. Just if you want to guarantee the win and try and finish it out properly and not risk too much, this is the way to do it. Well then, 4-on-2. Config though, very dangerous player to have that AK-47. We'll see what he can do here as he does actually start to rotate in towards the A side. Might be a little bit too late though. RUBINO is going to be actually falling back towards back. I think that's probably the right move. They have any chance of doing anything with this round. They need Config to find a kill with that AK-47. Not going to happen just yet though. Fox finds RUBINO, and it will be a 4-on-1. Like you said though, he saves his AK. Actually makes things interesting in the next round. They won't be buying into next round, but still, if he can actually keep damaging and applying a pressure to SK Gaming, a player like Config certainly can do that.
Anticipating the fact that he's going to be chased down, rightly so, with this bomb planted. He needs to read the fact that they're inside is short, jumps across, down to 38 though because he gets tagged up. Question is, can he run fast enough at this point to get away? Takes the fight instead. Good shot on a cold just around the corner before he's re-peeked out by Fur, but still wants more. In fact, will lose the gun in the end. So worth the chase for SK because they're going to have money regardless. They've won the 3 rounds in a row, and they want absolutely no chances for Dignitas of converting any further rounds.
Absolutely. So
or as little chance as possible, should I say.
Yeah, so another full eco for Dignitas. Don't really need to buy anything. I think there's Valde who got a couple of kills on the pistol round. He gets a P250. That's one of his kills gone. It's $300 for that pistol and it's $300 for a kill. So this balances things out with his teammates. Maybe we can find a kill with that as well. As we go into round number 18, and will be a couple of, maybe 3 SMGs for SK Gaming here. They know it should be a full eco for Dignitas. Don't need to give too much away. Let's hold up, wait for the aggression to start. But look at this little stack towards middle. I think there's actually 4 players that are CTs. coldzera, you can see it is coming, but gets the first shot and the second as well. RUBINO finally takes him down. It's a little bit interesting, but should be taken care of now by SK. They find the 4 frags required. Just config towards long, and I think this is the round over at this point. There it is. Fallen finds the final kill. So there it is, SK 12-6. We said they get the pistol. They're back into this game, and I think that's certainly the case now.
Every kill came on an SMG as well, just to note.
Yeah.
So good money made that time from SK as well. They'll buy in immediately. Fallen goes on to his AWP, and he'll be up against no other than cajunb. Again, I mentioned this. I know it's old at this point in time, but leaving Astralis, what an improvement to Dignitas having a defined role on him is.
It's all the swaps from Astralis seem to make, they're always beneficial to everyone, it seems.
Yeah,
No one seems to get the raw deal. It always seems everyone does well from them.
And then when you're in Sweden, Fnatic and Godsent both get raw deals.
Yeah, that didn't go as well as the Danish swaps, but the Danish ones are nuts how well they all go. Heroic, Dignitas, Astralis, everyone seems to be benefiting from them.
Yeah, I think, that, again, for Dignitas, it's just the fact that the roles and responsibilities make way more sense than what they were trying to do with the op. At the end of the Pimp era, Nico gone, all that mixing and mashing. Volda's gone back out toward the bathrooms, but it's more passive approach from Dignitas on this first gun round than what we did see from SK on their A approach. Not as much B aggression as we've seen from Dignitas on the SK side, though, on the attack. So a little bit different on both fronts. As such, a much slower round because they're trying to pace each other on this A side of the map.
Indeed. Well, we hit the 1 minute mark here. SK have got some decent control towards middle, long as well. So full execution definitely on the cards. There's 4 smokes especially as well. You can see cajunb. He knows what's coming. He's going to try and find his first frag. I think he'll be smoked out at this point. Fallen will just be setting up for that right now. And there should be some sort of full execution at this stage. There's no real reason not to. They've got the control. They've got the time to work with as well, and the smokes in hand.
MSL waiting to flash. Potentially to give Cajun a repeat on that AWP, but the Molotov's going to make that hard. There's a bit of a gap in behind it. You could slip out to fire it long, but Cajun doesn't want to take it. No risk. He wants to sit and wait for them to get in the sight. That's what they've done. Furs up the stairs. Knows Volda's behind the truck, but so far, no support team. No one else is the lineup. Cajun, good response. Leaves him in the open, though, and that's the trades they were looking for. Fox finds it. And that's why Fur was waiting, because his teammates had to clear off the other angles before they could all go and strike at once. Immediate save as well from Dignitas.
You can see it's very interesting to see both of these teams not looking as strong on their CT sides. I think the one player coming in for each team, that's where you're going to struggle. Having that synergy on the bomb sides. T side, everyone like can just work as a tighter unit. You obviously got the set smokes already. Your in-game leader can do the same sort of calls. It's kind of basic role adjustment, saying, okay, you're just going to do this and go in when we do this stuff. But holding a sight of a new player and not necessarily having the same comms, that's when you can struggle a little bit there. The H side, you could see Dignitas floundering almost. They could feel the execution coming in. They just didn't know what the response was. You can see Cajun wanted to go a little bit aggressive there. He got smoked out, didn't really know how to reposition himself in towards APC. Molotov out of position at that point, just didn't really get rolling until he finds 1 kill. And SK Gaming definitely no shot of winning this game now. They only dropped 1 player, that's Fur. He's still got $8,200 though. So what's the call here for Dignitas? I think they've saved 2 weapons, so could buy up around them. I would say probably not worth it at this point. Still have this big lead. Don't want to start throwing it away with strange decisions with the economy. Let's see what we can do with these 2 M4s. Maybe we find 2 at the start, 2 kills, equal exchanges. Goes down to 3-on-3. We've got a couple of guns dropped. We can try and capitalize at that point. We'll see what they decide to do. 3 players towards B. Config and RUBINO. Both of those players on towards the B side of the map here. So that's a bit of a gamble in that respect. Config pushes through the monster smoke. Oh my god.
That works so well. And he can push immediately back the other direction. Suddenly realizes, though, that MSL says, nah, let's keep going. And, well, he left him on his own. I thought they might both push up. But MSL just grabbing the gun, they're going to get back inside of the site safely now as well. That's a bit of a risk to get that, but what a play.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, he gets an AK as well. This has actually got to turn into a very interesting round indeed. 5-on-4 for Dignitas. And now with that B control, I don't think SK Gaming can justify going back towards B. They have no idea what's coming behind them. They have no actual awareness of what kind of tight corners Dignitas has to be in. There are none, but they don't really know that. I think they have to go towards A at this point. They still have the smokes and the Molotovs to work with. This would be the call, in my opinion. Go towards that A site, try and lock them down. You know they haven't got the AWP, so you might have an easier run at it towards this side of the map.
Fur around the corner with his own flash. Checks to make sure no one's up close, but it's the park sign boost. One to watch bathrooms. The booster will watch the corner, make sure no one gets close. And they have Valde as well in the corner. So this is a very interesting stack. I'm not sure if we can get a third-person perspective on that or not, but there you go. Perfect. Thank you very much. That's exactly it. So normally you see 2 players boosted at park sign, and as soon as they're found out, the hard part is retreating back in the site because both of you have to leave yourselves slightly exposed. By having that third player that can swing out, you can catch off anyone at long. And it means that that's the retreat, is down that corridor. They go a little bit early, now they'll swing, but they go one at a time, and Fallen, he's able to pick up the shot. That's not how it was designed, and as such, they're trapped into their own device. Left in the corners, and it's going to be Fox and Fallen to take down the other 2. Bomb gets in as well. Config's doing work where he can. He's pulled this back, denies the default. And all of a sudden there's 3 seconds. Fallen has to go for the shot. Can't. 1 second. And he's in the open as well with an AWP that's going to be lost, or it's not because it's Fallen. Good shot. I'll give you that.
Still, what a round from Dignitas. 2-4 save. We said, okay, maybe they can find a couple of kills, keep applying the pressure to the economy. This was the push from Config. Lovely stuff from him. Flashed over, finds a kill, gets an AK-47, funnels him towards the A side, like I said. And you can see, you described it perfectly. The way they had that set up towards that A side really works out for them. RUBINO boosted up towards the park sign there, finds a 1 kill, drops down, comes down to the 1-1 in the end, but Dignitas have done the hard work. Comes down to the timer, and Fallen can't win the round. 13-7, and we've got money for Dignitas once again.
Cajun tag through the wall. Does funnel it perfectly into Valde, though.
That will do. Well then, Valde finds an easy frag there.
Pippin to Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
Shaq to Kobe.
It's perfect. HenryG to Sadicist.
Dennis Rodman to Dennis Rodman.
All those names work together. Well, 5-4 for the CTs. Taco getting a little bit aggressive here towards Monster Tunnel. This is an audacious play by him. If he goes down, round over. He finds a kill. Potentially can recover it, and he does the latter. Brings it back into contention for SK Gaming here. 4-4. Strange one, I have to say. Like I said, if he goes down, that's it. Round's done for. His teammates aren't with him to recover the frag, but nails it. Catches them by surprise, and now gives them a chance. They head back towards B, it seems, as well.
I like that they're having a little chat about this. Config and Fur. But it is, I guess you say, 4 versus 4, and they're going to go back over toward B. More of a default setup this time for Dignitas with RUBINO, top of the mound, near the pit. And MSL, I think, was just spotted by Cold. I'm not quite, I'm not sure. X-Ray could have been misleading. He may have spotted him heading down toward the ramp. Either way, couldn't find him on the second peak. So whether or not that's information that will serve them or not, up for debate as MSL shuffles in behind the pillar. He'll peek now. RUBINO's called it. MSL is waiting. He wants them to get closer. Smoke out, maybe deny the plant. It's going to land a little bit tight, and that's going to do exactly that. They walk through it. It bounces too far back, and MSL's timing is absolutely perfect. As he catches off 2, Cold managed to pull back 1.
5 seconds, I can't win.
Exactly that. Bomb down. There's nothing they can do, and Cold falls to MSL, who's still on short, unfound. Again, it's going to be Fallen left alive. And I think he just died before the time.
So they put the smoke down the plant, and Fox ran through the smoke, stood in the open, and actually gave his kill away for free.
I think, to be fair, I think that smoke bounced back a lot further than normal because
no, of course, but I'm still saying, like, you still have...
Yeah, you clear the sight, absolutely.
You still know what you're doing, though, right? You can see the smoke. You don't just plant with the bomb out in the open. Like, surely you just fall back a little bit, I don't know. But still, like, it was a blunder regardless, and it just happened to be Fox with the bomb in his hands. And yeah, MSL steps up tremendously then. SK Gaming definitely back in that round. It seemed like a good execution coming in. Didn't lose any players in the initial exchange. MSL, though, locks it down with just 1 key mistake from SK Gaming there. And there will be the force fight from the Brazilians. Straight towards B they go once again. MSL defend them off. Can't find the first frag. Well, yes, he can. They find 2 to kick things off here.
Kicking things off or kicking things to a close because they find this round they're going to be on map point against SK. In a group stage early on as well, and SK with problems that could be plaguing them throughout the course of the entire group. If you ask me, they've got to clean their act up very quickly. Fallen caught in the open this time, gap in the smoke, both players peek. Valde and MSL converge for the kill, and that's exactly the last player remaining found by the same duo, as Valde will close it out this time, 15 Dignitas.
If we have a replay, could we see the moment he runs through the smoke? I'm not sure we have that available.
It's 2 rounds ago, if we can get it.
Here it is, perfect. Okay, so on his screen, he's still great, to be fair. It's like the X-ray makes that a little bit misleading.
And that's where I think if the smoke's even a foot further forward, he's fine. Yeah,
so like he is in his head, he's in the right position, but the smoke potentially wasn't thrown quite right there. I'm not 100% sure, but still, it was a force by in the previous round, and no bomb going down means it will be Tech 9s and an AK here, so you would say this game should be over at this point, but still finds the first kill. Quickly shut down by Cajun, though.
Oh, what was that?
That was amazing.
That was like side gravity. I want to see a replay of that alone.
To the wall.
That is amazing. MSL nearly caught with his gun, and a quick switch does manage to pull back to find Taco, but Palm goes down out in front of bathrooms, and that might just spell the end. I think that certainly will. Fox caught in the stairwell. Rubino aggressively will find Fallen. I've never seen a body fly through the air so fast. That's
That was like
what game is it? When you bullet punch?
Half-Life 2 deathmatch? Was that one
That's
of those
right,
on?
when you have the crossbow
Yeah.
and you pit. That's exactly what it looked like. Same engine, so that makes perfect sense. 16-7, Dignitas over SK.
Yeah, they didn't really turn up on that CT side at all. You can see SK, both teams actually, to be fair, were struggling with CT sides. It was just good for Dignitas here initially in that eco round. They had the 2 M4s. Great round from them, very assertive. We didn't see much of that from SK Gaming. I actually really enjoyed that performance from Dignitas overall. Like we said, both teams were mercenary here, but Dignitas certainly showing up and SK not so much.
And I think, to be fair, Valde knows the Danish scene a little bit better because he would be, even when they're pugging, when they're practicing, he would be more close to those players than Fox, who's very far removed from North America, from Brazil, in Portugal. I know it's the language barrier and he's played at the top level, so it seemed like a go-to guy in this situation for them. There's not that much depth. But I would expect Valde to step into those shoes and be more familiar than Fox would be off the hop. So, not surprised. I'm not sold with what Fallen's saying in terms of comfort because, like you said, their B-side confusion was pretty apparent.
Yeah, the chemistry just wasn't down the CT side for both teams, I have to say, but especially SK. You can see they weren't really in tandem with each other. Like, they were just like, you watch this position, I'll watch this one. They didn't really have that crossover effect where they're actually playing off each other and actually taking the attention away. That's a massive problem, especially on the B-side of Overpass. Such a heavily contested part of the map. You need to have your strong chemistry towards that side.
Well, with that said, we're going to throw it back over to our strong analyst desk with Machine and the analysts.
Oh, nice.
I deserve that one. Thank you, Matt. Yes, of course, I did throw over to Dan and James, and we had switched up the commentary team. Apologies to Sanakist and HenryG, not Hank G. Gents, a very comprehensive victory from Team Dignitas. We sort of spoke about this, Tommy, beforehand in the replacements, and it kind of bore out what we were talking about. Fox was very poor first half, didn't really get into the game at all, and actually Valde looked much more comfortable for Dignitas.
Yeah, and I mean, CT sides are the part of the game where if someone drops the ball, it gets really hard to recover from because you eventually, I mean, effectively you need everybody to get their kills. That's how you defend. And SK has always been a very CT heavy team on Overpass. That's how they won their games. They've had plenty of games where they get 11 rounds on CT side and then struggle to actually close the game out on T side. And that's what happened. I actually think against Dignitas at E-League with the full roster. That was the game. Yeah. So I mean, as soon as they were down 1-6 on a save, they were in big trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, Ruben, I mean, I don't want to blame or put all the blame on replacements because that's very unfair. He's had literally one game to play. It's hard to measure him based on one game. We know he's a good player after all, so I don't want to put all the blame on him, but it is difficult for a team like this, as Tommy's already said on CT particularly, to come up with anything when things aren't going well straight off the bat.
I mean, now we didn't see the full veto, so I don't know what map they had to pick from, but if you have a stand-in and his sole purpose is like, okay, he's going to be secondary op, we're going to have coldzera rifle, Overpass is not the best map for this situation, right? It's different for Valde, it's different for Dignitas. He's a rifler, he can run around, he can shoot people. Whereas for Fox, he's not that strong on a rifle. And you saw that he showcased that here as well on the CT side. So I think that the veto from the get-go was extremely poor by SK. They should have really thought this through a little bit more in terms of where can we get the strength of Fox and the rest of our players. Because SK is one of the teams that can play almost any map, right?
I'm hearing that the other map was actually Cash, so not really difference.
How did that happen? I just want to know the full veto because this is absurd to me. Like, how does this happen to begin with? Okay, they didn't have a lot of time. Maybe they're like, okay, we're strong on Overpass. We're going to practice that. We're going to go into it. But it's like, again, we were talking about, like, I was saying that Fallen is a smart guy. We were talking about, like, how will the stand-ins fit into the team? You want to look at those strengths to begin with and be like, okay, well, we're going to have 3 oppers. Okay, well, Fox, obviously, he's always been, like, somewhat of a primary opper. We're going to have him at least go secondary, right? Like, okay, what do we need to practice? And that seat side, I'm sure they played it. It just did not really work out for them at all. I'm not putting all the blame on Fox because it just looked like with the audition of Fox, the whole team looked a little bit lost.
And that's kind of to be expected, isn't it, early on?
If it's just one player, I mean, that's the thing. If it's like a map, like if it comes down to the map. If it's another map where it's more spread out, it's more individual play, I don't think this would have been noticed too much. But because it's Overpass and the rotations are so fast, and you really need to have good team play to make a map like that work on the CT side, then you can clearly see there the issues that they were having in the game.
Actually, I was going through the maps in my head as you were talking. Like, so let's think about it. So Train, obviously, that's a good map. That's a great map. But Dignitas doesn't play.
Never going to let them play that.
Dust 2 actually fits. You can have dual ops on CT side. Dignitas isn't going to play that. Cash, you haven't really played, or you at least didn't play before. Not going to work. Cobble, FNX plays drop for you. No, that's a no-go. You can't put Fox in drop and expect things to work.
But coldzera could.
Yeah, but that's a bigger adjustment.
Sure.
So just from like a plug and play
And then SK
perspective.
are not going to let
Then
Dignitas play Nuke.
yeah, Nuke is
So
is
you're
not
left
gonna
with
work.
Cash and Overpass.
And then you get Mirage is the final map, and FNX plays A site. You're not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, from a positional perspective, actually, Fox is a very poor direct replacement for FNX. I think they have to sort of move multiple people over to make people comfortable, and I think maybe this just wasn't enough time for practice for SK. I mean, obviously they're going to be better prepared for the major, and they could still bounce back tomorrow, but I mean, just didn't look good.
Yeah.
Simply put.
Let's talk about Dignitas, because a positive performance from them. They've got a replacement as well. It shouldn't be shouldn't be forgotten. And actually, they've come out and played very well first game.
Yeah, I again, not giving anything away from Dignitas, but I think that because if you compare it to a week ago when they played against each other on Overpass, very close, 16-14, it was Dignitas CT side that actually kept them into that game, right? They only got 4 T rounds. It was very sloppy play from them, but now you saw there again and again, because of the mistakes that SK made, it just made Dignitas look extremely well. They were very coordinated. You could barely even tell that Valde was her replacement, right?
Yep.
And what Matt and Henry was discussing that as well. It is going to be a lot easier because it's the same region. It's the same if Fnatic picks up a player from an IP for one game, right? Like the tendencies are there, kind of the same kind of mentality. Whereas for SK, you're not necessarily going to have that. So I think definitely for Dignitas, that's why I said it's a stronger stand-in pickup. And I think that the way that they played now, if they end up playing that later on this evening as well, they can definitely come out with the first place here.
You still think they can come out top?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the other games, I think it boils down to how well Envy and Immortals are playing. But with the sheer fact of the firepower right now that Dignitas is displaying and the map pool that they have, I can definitely see them winning this group.
Okay, very interesting as ever from our two analysts here, Tommy and Robin. We will be back after the break as we move through Group B into our second game of the upper bracket semi-final. This time, also the Brazilians involved once again, but this time in the form of Immortals as they go head-to-head with the former French favourites Envy.